Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to the Daily Drop-In Morning Show with the Teach Better team, where we are live every single morning, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern. We are currently streaming on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, but I will give a little shout out. We are struggling to stream on our Teach Better team Twitter account. So if you are watching over on Twitter or on whatever stream you are choosing to be live with us currently, please do us a favor, share the stream to make sure that everybody can also catch the show bright and early this morning. As all of you know, we are getting ready for a great show this morning. It is Tuesday, January 18th. We have a whole lot in store with a brand new guest bringing to our Teach Better community. And we also will be celebrating a good news article and holidays at the end. So we will be right back. Please go fill up your coffee and let's get ready for the day. Morning, everyone. We have an incredible guest with us joining our conversation this morning. Dino, I'm so excited that you're here. Would you mind sharing a little about yourself?
Sure. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me, and good morning. My name is Dino, also known as Dariusz Vajoha. You can find me at Zoka Dino on most of the social media platforms, as well as my company, Zoka Media Group. Basically, I'm 22 years old. I was born in Poland. My family immigrated to the United States in 2006 with 14 suitcases, 5 family members, and $200 in my dad's pocket, and no one knew a lick of English. Fast forward, I'm 22 years old now. I've got my own video production business, working lots with school districts and communities to kind of help improve communication, trust, and kind of build on school brands from there on out. I'm also a firefighter paramedic, and I've gone through quite a bit through life that I can hopefully use to motivate and inspire other people with kind of my story and kind of see how we can make the world a little bit of a better place every day at a time.
I love that mission. I love that goal. You know, we connected a few months ago. We were a mutual friend, PJ Capozzi, who is a member of our Speakers Network. For those of you who are listening right now that may not have explored our Teach Better Speakers Network, we have a variety of educators doing incredible work in different spaces all over education. And PJ Capozzi is a relatively new member of our Speakers Network. He's probably been with us for about a year. And we love being able to send him into different school buildings and share his message out to our wider audience. Tell us a little bit about how you know PJ.
So the way PJ and I met was actually through a rather terrifying experience for me. For him, probably not so much. Looking back, it was probably freshman, sophomore year of high school. I actually attended the school district which he was becoming the superintendent in, and I believe this was his first or second year there. Um, and I've always had a passion for video production. First it was Legos, then it was video production. So when I turned about 10, 11 years old or so, my dad got me a little flip screen kind of camera, almost like a smartphone, but literally like this, a little flat guy, that he got with truck stop points because he was an over-the-road truck driver. And from there on out, I was just kind of recording little things, recording little Lego bases, that kind of stuff, putting that stuff on YouTube. Not really thinking it'd go anywhere. I was just doing it because I was having fun. Lo and behold, I started saving up for this little camcorder that I eventually got like 3 years later because at 10 years old selling lemonade, trying to buy a $300 camcorder is not the best or ideal situation. Lo and behold, I ended up going over the road with my dad every single time he had a trip. When I had spring break or winter break or summer break, every couple of weeks I'd go with him. And then I would record these trips in a series I called Trucking Through America. And fun fact, if you were to go into YouTube, you can still find this series from about 10 years ago or so. So you can see kind of where I started and going on from there. You can actually see over the years how they kind of get a little bit better. The first ones are pretty terrible. Regardless, I upload these onto YouTube. I got a sponsorship through Maker Studios, which was a company through Disney, to the point where I was able to advertise on these videos. So to put ads before and after videos. I was probably about 16 years old at the time. And I made like my first check was like $20 in 1 month from just people watching my YouTube videos, and I thought, wow, this is awesome. Like, I'm 16 years old making money off the internet. How can I get any better than this? So I never really expected to make any money with this whole video production thing. But when I saw that, I'm like, well, this could help me fund new equipment, which then I could grow and learn more and maybe advance my business. So I tried to get this video or these videos out in front of people as much as I could. And one way I thought of sharing that is to message my local school district Facebook page. They had about, I want to say, like 1,500 likes or something like that on the page at the time. And I was just trying to get the video out there. And often they would post pictures of like students' accomplishments in school, so in sports, that kind of stuff. Student accomplishments regarding awards, certificates, state honors, that kind of stuff. So I figured, hey, maybe they'll share what one of their students is doing outside of school to try and kind of promote the creative side of things. Sent that message, nothing. About 6, 7, 8 months later, still nothing. So I kind of forgot about this. And then all of a sudden, I get a reply on Facebook saying, wow, this looks great. I'd like to meet. Lo and behold, I am a sophomore probably around this time, and I forget about this because we're starting school. And I'm stressed out like any other sophomore kid would be going into high school yet again for a second year. And so we're in school, and then I get called down to the principal's office, and I get notified to go speak with the superintendent at the district office after school, or whenever I'm able to make it out there. So I immediately get petrified. I don't even check the Facebook page, but don't think of doing that. Go to the superintendent's office, and that's where I meet Dr. Capozzi. And he basically says, hey, I saw your message that you sent to us. I think you've got a great talent that we've discovered here, and I'd like to put that to use in any way, shape, or form that I can. And so I'm like, wow, this is, I didn't expect this. And so he goes on about saying how he wants me to maybe make some videos for the district regarding the Board of Education and kind of meetings to recap those to kind of help improve the trust and communication between the community and the Board of Education. The school had not been through some sketchy times regarding finances, regarding decision making, regarding previous leadership. So we were in a really bad spot. I'm not going to get into much into it, but school was in the best spot. Community did not trust it at all. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll do this. I want to do this. You don't even have to pay me, nothing. I'll do this. But I feel like this is something professional that needs to be done, and I'm just like this kid with this little camcorder now that has one button on it. I can't do much for you. And then he says, well, go ahead and make a list of kind of the equipment you may need to move forward with this, and then we'll talk more. So I go home screaming, shouting at my parents, hey, guess what? I met the superintendent. I was terrified, but then he said, to talk about, doing videos for him, all this kind of stuff. My mom's always kind of brought me back to my roots. She's always kept me grounded. So she's like, don't get too ahead of yourself. You might be getting yourself into some more problems rather than a good time or a future career. My dad's always been the laid back one that's always supported everything. Well, not that my mom hasn't. She's always supported me too. But my dad's kind of been the, all right, go ahead, do it. Whatever happens, happens. You'll learn one way or another. So I ended up making a little bit of a list of, equipment that was needed and told Dr. Capozzi, hey, this stuff isn't cheap. You're talking to a 16-year-old that doesn't have a job right now other than a couple checks through YouTube. This is important and a lot of stuff, especially the way he wanted to do it with doing interviews with 1 or 2 cameras, multiple people in the videos, all that kind of stuff. Send the list over to him. He says, okay, give me a couple weeks. Don't hear back from him. I'm like, all right, nothing's going to come from this. And lo and behold, he sends me an email and he says, done. And when I get that email back, basically the school had offered to provide me with some equipment in order to get the job done. And then he offered me an independent study course where I would move forward with this video production passion, and I would continue to create videos for the school district during my junior and senior year to kind of help promote the district in any way, shape, or form that we can. And one of the projects we did was a school culture video for each building in our district. So that'd be 4 videos, 1 video a quarter. He said, do your thing. I trust you. You're in charge of learning how to schedule from beginning to end everything. So I'll give you the context to all the principles, and you go from there. And so I gotta say that was an awesome learning experience in a very controlled environment. It was something unique. Obviously, it was something he trusted me with. Obviously, I must have shown that I can be trusted. However, from that initial encounter, I was able to purchase the equipment from the district after I graduated at a little bit of a lower cost because at that point, market value, it's used equipment, that kind of stuff. But during that time, I was allowed to use the equipment for personal use, which meant I'm 16 years old and I've got this cinema camera I can use for anything. When all of a sudden, I had this little camcorder, now I've got this kind of semi-pro level camera that I don't quite exactly know how to use. And it's kind of grown and transpired from there on out. I've been able to then make money with that equipment, start filming a little bit of weddings. My first ever wedding was a disaster. Not that anything went wrong, it's just more so the cinematics of it making it look good, but it was for a family friend, did it for free just for experience, and now we're out to be booking, 4-figure weddings. I think we got about 6 or 7 of them coming up this year. We work with the Meridian School District to this day. I graduated, I was class of 2018, graduated December 2017, and to this day I still work with Dr. PJ Capozzi very closely for his personal things, for the school district. Actually, we're shooting a video next week about one of the school district's the high school's new goals of trying to get people X many college credit hours before they graduate. So we're doing a campaign on that. We just did a campaign on a new tool for tutoring. We did a PSA about stopping at stop signs at school buses. We partnered with the local sheriff's department and our school resource officer to do that, and our transportation department. They did an awesome job, and it's kind of almost an opportunity to show the faces that maybe sometimes go under the radar. The people that kind of make the whole district work, like the transportation department, that maybe we don't have lots of opportunities kind of show them off per se in the public eye. Bringing them in on these kinds of projects to help increase the communication, and working with the sheriff's department to kind of show that connection, that we have that relationship there, to kind of bring in that confidence into the parents that, hey, we've got this relationship with the sheriff's department, we've got our school resource officer, you get to see him on video, you get to see our transportation department. They feel happy because they feel acknowledged. It's a win-win-win all the way across the board.
Well, it's interesting because you've shared so far, and I know we can dive deeper because I have some background in this story, but you shared so far that you had a passion as a student, an educator took interest in that, made a lot of things possible because they had access to funding and ideas and resources supporting you through pursuing your passion. Now you're talking about you graduated, you were able to take those resources with you to continue your success, but then also stay connected to your school building, give back. It sounds like you had this great experience with not only an educator believing in you, but also the other end of this is the school district being able to provide a more transparent lens to a community and really foster excitement about what was going on in the school building. With these two stories, these huge positive components that came out of the work you've been able to do, has the last few years just been super simple? You've been doing video production, no big deal? Because I feel like there's more than will come your way after
There's
that.
a lot more to it, and let's go and just dive right into it. So I've always liked, I've always wanted to be a police officer, and I've always wanted to go to the State Police Academy down in Springfield, Illinois. But when I was in high school, I noticed that you have to be over the age of 21 and you need a bachelor's degree to go down there, or an associate's degree in military service. I, for one, am not in the service, but thank you for the service of those that are, and those that plan to be, and those that have been. However, I decided, let's go ahead and try this firefighter EMT thing. My school, Stillman Valley High School, they had an option with the local college, Rock Valley College, where I could attend college courses while still in high school to kind of get ahead again. And this was through the fire science program. So my junior year was just basic introduction to fire science, introduction to building construction, all these very introductory courses just to see if I like it or not. And this is a great opportunity for students to kind of gauge where their interests are so that after high school they can pursue those careers. And there was nursing, there was welding, there was all sorts of stuff. So it's not just firefighting. And then the very last course of this whole fire science program was the EMT program, Emergency Medical Technician program, which was a one semester course. And basically, I'd go to college two nights a week, and 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And I would learn medicine and senior level in high school. And by the time I graduated high school, I had my medical license. And actually, I graduated December 2017. I turned 18 years old on December 20th of 2017. And so I needed to wait until I was 18 in order to actually use my medical license on the local volunteer fire department. So from there on out, I've actually gone and got my paramedic license. That came in the mail actually a month and a half ago. So I am a nationally and state certified firefighter. I've gone through the Illinois Fire Academy, through the Illinois Fire Service Institute. They're a great organization, lots of free courses and sponsor courses that they help out to lots of fire departments. Love it. Um, anyways, I did hit a bit of a hiccup in the road, so it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. Um, September 13th, 2021, I was diagnosed with chronic myeloid leukemia at the age of 21 years old. I was sent to the ER by my new primary care doctor because I never needed one. And I finally got one about probably 2 weeks before September 13th. A week before September 13th because I was having lots of muscle spasm issues, muscle tears. I wasn't able to walk for like 2 weeks at a time. And then when I had 3 injuries in a row, I was like, all right, this is enough. I got to go see what's going on. I went to like an immediate care kind of thing. They prescribed me some medication, pain medication, and that's it. I didn't think much of it. And then I just started feeling like crap. Went over to the local doctor's office. They said, hey, we can take you in as a new patient for primary care. Never had a primary care doc because I've always been 100% healthy. Yeah, that's it. There hadn't been much to it. And I go in there. He's like, all right, well, let's go ahead and let's do some labs on you, that kind of stuff. And let's do an MRI because at that point I had lots of dizzy spells. I wasn't able to walk in a straight line. I had lost some hearing and some vision on this side. And it was not a good time. And lo and behold, the blood results came back on like a Sunday. I was able to check online. White blood cell count was around 753,000 white blood cells. Normal adult range is anywhere from 4 to 10,000 if you are healthy, and maybe like 15 or 18,000 if you're fighting a cold or a flu or something like that. So 753,000 was literally off the charts. And I was feeling horrible, and I had 8 a.m. checkup with a primary care doc on that Monday. I go in there for maybe 5 minutes. He says, yeah, you got to go to the ER, like now. So we were kind of prepared for this. My sister had gone with me. We packed a bag, so went up to the road to Swedish American Hospital in Rockford, Illinois. I was there for probably 4 or 5 hours. Anxiety started to kick in, panic attacks started to kick in, started throwing up, and bad stuff there. They gave me like 3 different narcotic pain medications, morphine, fentanyl, I believe, midazolam to kind of Versed to kind of knock me out. That finally helped settle me down, but it was a terrible like 3 or 4 hours. They ran some more tests, and then they're like, "Yeah, looks like leukemia. We can't be for sure," which kind of sucked, really bad. Like it was not a fun time. One of my close friends, he works at the hospital. So he was kind of in the room with me, with my sister, and kind of helping explain everything and comfort me there. But they gave me some pain medication, got me to settle down a little bit. And then they did an immediate transfer to UW-Madison for better and higher level of care. Transported up by ambulance, private ambulance up there. And I need to say it's probably within 6 or 7 hours that they had me completely diagnosed to the point of like 95% or so, and they started me on chemotherapy within 6 hours. I was receiving treatment, and then Tuesday I received a bone marrow biopsy, and then the results came back like say the Thursday after that. I was still in the hospital. I was in the hospital at UW from September 13th to September 24th. So almost 2 weeks out there. Bone marrow results came back. Yep, you got CML, chronic myeloid leukemia. Extremely rare to be found in someone my age and my health status. I've been going to the gym for probably 3 years straight now, almost every single day. No health issues prior to. We do have family history of cancer, but not this kind. More so stuff related with the heart and that kind of stuff. So it was a massive blowback. Obviously, with the hearing and the vision loss, and my muscle loss, I mean, I went from almost 200 pounds, had somewhat of abs, not really a six pack, I wouldn't say that, but there was something there. You could see that there was something there. As a young guy, that's why I go to the gym. I want to have a six pack. There was
Hey,
something there.
I get it totally. You know, I work on my six pack. You can't see it yet, but it's there. It's just underneath. I get it.
So I went from almost 200 pounds down to 152 pounds within a matter of a week and a half. So, and the chemotherapy, it was a targeted chemotherapy that was basically in the form of a pill. And it was a very, very aggressive pill that targets a specific genome. It's called the Philadelphia gene, if I'm saying that right. I think it's a gene, or chromosome or something like that. Basically, that causes lots of white blood cells in the body, and the body just won't stop making them. And it turned my blood into pudding, sludge, so oxygenated blood cannot get to my eye, my ear, and the rest of my body, and that's kind of why these organs started to fail, literally fail. Right now, I don't have much hearing on this side, just a constant ringing on that side. They've offered to do cochlear implants or hearing aids. However, if I was to do that, that would completely disqualify me from being a firefighter paramedic full-time per NFPA, which is kind of like the OSHA of the fire service. They've got a specific code that if you have cochlear implant or any hearing aid, you are not qualified to do the job. However, if you have unequal hearing loss, as long as you are able to complete your job safely and accurately as needed, there's no issue with it. Same thing with the vision. So I've pretty much lost the entire inner part of my vision. So right here, can't see anything. Pretty much with my eye, I see this right here, this level, down and out. So that, like, 1/4 of that peripheral vision is all I've got. Right now, it's really, really blurry, and you may see that this eye is a little bit red if you look up close to it, but pretty much they put a band around my eye January 5th, popped my eyeball out, put a band around there to try and bring things together. Kind of disgusting stuff. We're not going to get into it. Basically, to bring things back. It's a little bit too early in the morning to be talking gruesome things. Lo and behold, I'm doing well right now, feeling great. Dr. Capozzi has a great story himself. He is a several-time cancer survivor. I won't say how many times because I don't want to say it wrong, but more than twice. And he's kind of been my big brother through this situation. Me and him have grown really close professionally, and also I see him as a very close friend, almost like a older cousin maybe. And he actually had gone up to the hospital and visited me while I was in the hospital. He relayed the message about, kind of what's going on with me to the teachers and educators within our building, our school board. And it wasn't maybe 5 minutes until after he heard the news that I was getting texts and messages of basically well wishes and wholeheartedness coming from all of our teachers, all of our board members, several students, even school custodians. There was even I didn't even know this, but there's an option to actually send a card through the through the hospital's website, and our middle school principal sent a card with a bunch of cows on there wishing me well from good old Stillman Valley. That made me chuckle. But yeah, and then word got out. My sister was up there. She ended up taking a picture of me asleep with an oxygen mask on because my oxygenation was like in the high 70%. So usually we want that to be around 94%, and that's how much oxygen is going through your body. Yeah, so that wasn't good. That's why they had me on an oxygen mask. But she took a photo of me while I was sleeping. She started up a GoFundMe without telling me, and she just set a goal of $10,000 as a goal that we could never reach, to help with medical expenses. Because at the time that I was hospitalized, September 13th, I did not have health insurance at all. None. My parents didn't have any either, because my dad's the only one that works in our family, and his trucking company basically provides the health insurance that's barely like enough for anything. It's more so just so that the company doesn't get fined for not providing health insurance. So it was a very rough time. Thankfully, my sister, she's incredibly smart, and figured out that, hey, let's submit your application for state Medicaid right today when you have gone in here and see if you qualify. I 21 years old, still paying off a little bit of college because I've got an associate's degree now. I wasn't making a killing, working as a part-time firefighter, provisional paramedic, volunteering most of my time. You're not bringing in a lot of money. So that was kind of hope there that maybe I'd qualify for something. The business hadn't really been where it's at right now because I've never given it 100%. So laying in the hospital bed, one of the couple of regrets I had, thinking, God, am I ever going to get out of here, is I never gave my passion and the thing that I've always wanted to do 100%. Yes, I've spent the last 2-3 years of my life studying and getting my paramedic license, and this is kind of what I wanted to do as a career, but I never gave 100% to my passion, my business. And that's kind of where lots of things have evolved since. Um, but yeah, that GoFundMe, we were thinking that maybe we'd get, a couple $100 to kind of help pay for the MRI I had to get done before I was hospitalized, all the doctor's visits that I had to do before I got hospitalized, maybe pay parts of the hospital bill or the fuel or the medications. The medications I'm on right now are about $4,000 a month, and those are the cheapest ones. They can only go up from there. They're going to have me on those for the next 5 years or so, minimum, until we see if there's a possible way of getting rid of the cancer at all, but we'll see how it goes. Can't think about the bad stuff. You got to think about the positive upside of things, because if you think about the bad stuff, you're just going to go down a hole, and you're never going to come out of it. So we can't focus on that bad stuff. So lo and behold, now today, December, January now, doing good, feeling good. The business is growing. Before I was in the hospital, I actually found a Ford Transit van that was for sale. Some guy was selling it for $5,000 in New Jersey because they needed a new engine. And I'm like, all right, well, I've got some money saved up. I used to do a t-shirt job on the weekends where I'd go to sporting events and sell custom shirts, and I made commission pay. And that was kind of my life savings per se. And so paid the guy $5,000 over PayPal, and my dad and brother-in-law went and got the van and trailered it home while I was in the hospital, and they kind of cleaned it up, detailed it up, and they said, okay, yeah, it needs a new engine. And they found me an engine for about $1,300, and that was about the last of my savings. And I'm like, you know what, go get it. If I get out of here, I want to push full force with this video thing. And so they went and got that engine. My dad's in the garage playing around with the old engine, trying to see what's wrong with it after my brother-in-law had already diagnosed cylinder 5's not firing. My brother-in-law went to go get a cherry picker, which is this tool that we use to lift up engines and take them out of the van and put a new one in, because the engines are terribly heavy. I don't know why they would ever make them so heavy. But long story short, my dad found it was cylinder 4 not firing that cylinder 5. He says that's weird. Things don't jump around in engines. Usually it's one thing that's an issue, and it pretty much stays that issue. He puts in a new spark plug and a new coil pack from the new engine into the old engine, and it runs without any issues at all. So I got a perfectly working van for $5,000. Now it does have 210,000 miles on it, but no rust on the body, nothing like that. From there on out, I was able to kind of grow. I got a guy that I made a promotional video for his company. He does car vehicle wrap, so I designed my own van wrap for the company. You can see a picture of the van on my Instagram page, which is @zoka.dino. You can kind of follow the journey on from there. Now my dad and I are building the van from the inside out, insulating it, putting internet into it, making it a video production truck that we can do live streaming events, conferences, anything and everything from there on out. So that's kind of run down how my life got flipped upside down.
Well, and that's, there's so much to focus on here. Your story is incredible, which is why we wanted to have you on the show. Not only your perseverance, your passion, your positive mindset on something that clearly is impossible to even fathom having to go through. And I appreciate you going through all that detail, because truly you have been on a journey, even at such a young age. We're going to transition here into our brainstorm bank, and I want to pull our focus in how really PJ Capozzi, but all the educators in the school district, the board members, the students, really has become not only influential in the work that you're doing from the beginning, but really a support system. So we're going to be right back to really discuss how we can really make this long-term impact. All right, friends, we are back on Daily Drop, and we're transitioning here into our brainstorm bank. And as many of you know, this is where we really do pause and say, hey, friends, do you need anything? I know we've been able to discuss an incredible story so far. We're going to continue to dive into really the impact a community, a school community can have on making sure a student not only feels supported, but is able to reach all of these incredible goals. I can only imagine the things that you have in store over the next few years, much less the next 10 to 20 years. But this is also a time where we take your questions live. And so while we have been able to truly sit back and hear such incredible detail on this story that you've been able to share with us about your life, if anyone in our community has questions that they want to share or comments that they want to share on some of the things they've heard thus far, please feel free to throw those in the comments. Of course, we are also here to amplify the stories of not only powerful educators, but incredible students. If you currently are listening on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, we'd love to have you share this stream to your community, maybe even sharing your thoughts and encouraging others to share and watch any part of Daily Drop-In that you feel like might be impactful for them. If you are listening to this after the fact on Teach Better Talk podcast, don't forget, we always appreciate we take a screenshot and let us know that you're watching. I know that this is really an incredible story, but also very much focused on community. So we have a lot of incredible people that we can add into our network to continue to pursue the incredible work we're doing here in education. Dino, we've been able to really dive into kind of like the chronological order of this incredible life that you've lived thus far, many, many, many successful years to come. And
Hopefully.
not only a superintendent's interest in your passion, but really a community's interest in being transparent to their outer community and wanting to utilize your skills to do so, and then to support you as you've continued to grow and develop even after leaving the school, is something that educators dream about, right? This is the type of work that really is to the root of our why, of why we are in education. We want to help people feel success, gain as much as they possibly can in their not only career fields, but in life. And even when things go down a very, very detrimental path, we are there to be support systems for our students. So as our network is kind of chewing on everything they've been able to hear so far, can you tell me kind of like your soapbox moment? Like if you wanted to communicate one thing, if you wanted one takeaway for all these educators that are listening into your story, what would that takeaway, that thought be for our community?
A takeaway or a thought that would be, I would have to say, is you truly do not know how many lives you are impacting yourself. You have no way in measuring that. I know as from the work I've done and me being a business owner, we want to try and measure everything we do so we can see how effective things are. I know we have lots of examinations, standardized testing we do for students, right? And that's how we kind of measure what we do and how the state measures what we do, and we measure our progress with kids with examinations throughout the school year. But I'm here to tell you there is zero way for you to know how exactly you are impacting kids, whether it's through the educational standpoint or through the emotional support, or whether it's just your friendly smile greeting people in the morning. I say this because something I did not realize until I was out of the hospital and I saw all these messages pouring in, and through that GoFundMe that just blew up astronomically. I had no idea it was going to blow up at all, but all the messages of kind-hearted messages of support, and all my peers and people younger than me and older than me sharing kind of my story and what's going on with me. People said I was an inspiration to them and I was a leader to them, and people looked up to me. And the way I've seen people looking up to me, or that's the way I had a program in my head, was maybe, that 10-year-old boy that's like really into cameras or really into photography or maybe really into cars or Legos that sees, maybe this awesome Lego based video that I made, or maybe this kid that's, in middle school that I'm interviewing him for this school culture video really likes cameras and he's in awe and, wants to be like me. That's the only way I've ever thought of myself as being a leader, maybe as being an inspiration for other people. But as time went on, people had messaged me and talked to me and called me and met with me, basically saying how I'm an inspiration to them, that, I'm an adult, I'm 50-something years old, I've been an electrician my entire life, I've got my own company doing that, and, I make great money, but this isn't what I love to do. And then here you are doing what you love to do, spreading joy and spreading passion, and you've had this, terrible thing happen in your life, and you're just pushing through, and you're not letting anything stop you. And people just kept telling me how much they look up to me. I'm like, I'm just a regular kid, I'm a kid that went to school. I'm just doing what I love, and everything I learned with this video stuff, I learned from the internet. I'm not some great guy. I mean, I'm a regular person, but apparently I'm an inspiration to people and people look up to me that I would have never expected. Even some educators told me that they look up to me in the way I do things, and my passion towards things. So if I had to say one thing, is you never know how many lives and who you are impacting. You might have a rough idea, but I guarantee you it is at least 100 times more than what you currently think you're doing.
So impactful, so important, and a wonderful takeaway for educators to know that them believing in students or showing interest in a student's passion can not only impact them long term, but truly a reminder that educators truly, you guys will never know the incredible impact of the work that you do. And hopefully this is a reminder after some very, very, very difficult months in education that you are still doing good work, even when it may not feel like it every single day. We are going to transition here into our good news story and holiday celebrations. Are you up for some holiday celebrations? What are you thinking? You know, I'm always up for a good holiday celebration. Are you a big celebrator? Always looking for a moment to celebrate?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Let's get into some holidays that we have today. For those of you that are following along on Daily Drop-In, we always love to incorporate some holidays and good news stories either at the beginning or at the end of our show, just to add some conversation starters throughout your day. Feel free to bring these to your students or to your communities. It is National Winnie the Pooh Day. I cannot say the last time I watched a Winnie the Pooh movie or episode, but why not celebrate the bear with honey, right? That sounds like a good day.
Oh yeah, who doesn't like honey? I mean, if you don't like
Love
honey,
it.
I'm sorry, no judgment, but yeah,
Honey's way to go.
That.
I love it. It's also National Gourmet Coffee Day, so definitely go get some fancy schmancy coffee this morning as you're getting ready for the day. Last but not least, it is World Thesaurus Day. So I think that would be a really fun opportunity to bring to our students to celebrate dynamics of the words that we're able to use and the importance of a thesaurus in growing our vocabulary. So shout out to those of you who will participate in celebrating World Thesaurus Day. So good.
Beautiful. I'll definitely be supporting the gourmet coffee. That'll be my excuse.
Yes.
To go get some coffee today.
Yes, that will be important. Shout out to all of you. If you want to participate with us in our coffee celebration, take a picture, tag us on social media with a cheers of coffee. We always love a good cheers coffee, especially when it's gourmet. It sounds so fancy.
Absolutely.
For our good news, yeah, absolutely. For our good news story of the day, just real quick, for those of you who might be interested in bringing good news to your students, there is a lot out there, a lot of incredible accomplishments that have been coming through over the last few weeks. One of them, though, that I thought would be interesting to bring to your students is all about bird watching. Dino, have you ever been bird watching?
I have actually. This was probably, I want to say, 4th or 5th grade. On a field trip we did back when we used to live in the suburbs. We took a trip out to a forest preserve, and everyone got this cheap little binoculars, and there was one fancy pair that we all got to take turns looking through, and we were able to identify some birds, and we saw a cardinal, which was weird because the next year I moved to Stillman Valley High School, and our mascot is the cardinal, and I remember that explicitly.
Ah, that's so exciting. See these incredible memories that we have as kids. There is a huge thing going on in the bird watching community because they have spotted a rare 8-foot raptor after a huge Russian eagle takes a detour into Maine. So a few weeks ago, right before the holidays, a massive bird was spotted over 8 feet long in Maine. It has never been spotted this far south. It usually stays much more north. What I love about this story is not only the videos that was captured, the photos that was captured. You can go Google this story and get a really beautiful image of what this bird looks like 8 feet long. But I think it would be a really fun opportunity to bring to students to discuss size. I mean, most of our students, if we talk about 8 feet, is going to really paint quite a picture. So as we talk about scalability and the animals in our world, I think that would be a little bit of a goofy brain break or bell ringer this morning as you get ready for your students, is to talk about what would it be like to encounter an 8-foot bird? That would not be a positive experience for me. I think I'd be terrified.
I would be petrified. Just looking in here, I mean, most homes, most ceilings are about 8 foot tall. 8 foot ceilings are kind of standard, 8, 9 foot. And I'm just looking over here, which is ceiling, and that is absolutely terrifying.
Yes, that is a big bird. They are beautiful, though. The photos I've seen, it really is a gorgeous bird. So definitely go check that out. It might be a really good attention getter for your day today. You know, Dina, we have been able to dive into so much of your story. I do want to make sure that our network is able to connect with you following today. Our theme this week has been, and it will continue throughout the week, to be the focus on how we can involve our students in the design process of our work that we're doing, whether it be instructional design, classroom design, or anything in between. We really appreciate that your story aligns with that theme, focused on the impact that we can have with students in so many different ways. And I do want to make sure that we can continue to support your journey, as well as reminding us of the work that we still can do with students every single day. So Dina, how can we stay connected to you? Where can we follow you on social media, and what's your website?
Of course, so you can go ahead and find me on me personally on most social media platforms: Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I don't believe the Snapchat's that, but it's actually at Zoka ZOKA.DINO. That is my personal page where I share pictures, thoughts, opinions. I've been terrible at using Twitter for the past several years, but I've updated everything on there in the past month or so, and I'll be trying to connect with people as much as I can through there. But you can go ahead and find my website. It's super simple: zoka.media, MEDIA. That'll take you over to my company's website. You can find our Facebook page is Zoka Media or Zoka Media Group. Either of those will send you over there. Same thing on Instagram, Zoka Media Group. You can go ahead and see our work, the work we do, kind of where we're at. One of my favorite things to do is actually to post our crew on location on the day of where we are at. So you can spot us. A couple weeks ago, we were at a conference in Schaumburg, Illinois, and we actually had a couple people walk up to us and said, "Hey, we saw your post with our conference tag on there, and can we ask you for a business card?" And so kind of great way to grow some businesses always to be tagging where you're at, especially at conferences as an educator. Try and connect and grow your network.
I love it. I love it. For those of you in our network that have not connected yet, please go connect with our incredible guest that was able to join us bright and early this morning on Daily Drop-In. There is so many lessons to be able to take away from today, and we'd love to have you share your biggest takeaway from this morning's show, regardless of when you're catching it, whether you're watching it live with us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch, or if you are catching this after the fact on Teach Better Talk podcast. We appreciate you. We appreciate your impact. And we do always love hearing from you. We are going to head out here and wish you a wonderful morning on Tuesday, January 18th. But please remember that if you're an administrator, we have our admin mastermind happening here in just a few minutes. And we also will have that later this evening. If you are an educator, then we wish you a wonderful day with students, an incredible, incredible Tuesday, and hopefully we'll catch you tomorrow morning as we continue this conversation on Daily Drop-In. Dino, thank you so much again for waking up bright and early to talk to me. I know that we're on Central Time and it's not even 7 o'clock a.m. yet, but we really appreciate you committing some time to sharing your story with us. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I hope everyone has a great rest of their week. I hope everyone stays safe, stays warm during these cold times, unless you're in the South and you're warm all the time. I am severely jealous of you. I hope to be joining you in the next 5 to 10 years or so. So everyone, thanks for the opportunity of having me here and sharing my story, and I look forward to connecting with everyone through social media.
Love it. Please enjoy your last sip of coffee, and we'll see you later, friends.